Welcome to your Barbados Today evening news update for Tuesday, April the 24th. So glad you could join us. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Topping the news at this hour, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital will only be performing critical and emergency surgeries at this time. In a statement issued this evening, the hospital's board explained that it imposed a temporary measure until concerns about the availability of critical drugs to manage patients after surgery and challenges related to the sterilization of instruments are addressed. The QEH explained that worldwide demand for drugs used before and after surgery are out of stock, and the hospital is working with the drug service and the pharmaceutical suppliers to obtain the drugs by early next week. Meanwhile, the QEH has launched an internal investigation into concerns raised about the sterility of surgical sets and their fitness for use in surgical procedures. The hospital is hoping that it can resume normal operations early next week. The Barbados Labour Party today charged that it was being sidelined by the state-owned Transport Board. As the party gears up for a massive Heroes Day picnic on the East Coast, General Secretary George Payne told reporters the party's attempts to hire 15 buses since February have been ignored. He said he was baffled as to why the cash-strapped Transport Board would pass up over $10,000 in revenue. He said the party has now opted to hire 185 Zeta vans to ensure smooth transportation at Saturday's event. Payne's claims were, however, shut down by General Manager of the Transport Board, Sandra Ford. She rubbished his comments as foolishness. Ford told Barbados Today the board did in fact respond positively to the BLP's request, and only this morning it had communicated with the party. A former juvenile court magistrate is linking the worrying incidents of violence among school children to the current spate of domestic violence across Barbados. Faith Marshall Harris, who is also the UNICEF's children's champion and a practicing attorney at law, warned today that corporal punishment was also adding fuel to the fire of a violent thread that leads to various forms of violence.
I believe that the current spate of youth violence and school violence actually stems from domestic violence in this country. And I'm saying domestic violence in its widest terms because unfortunately too many of us see domestic violence in purely physical terms, which is to me sometimes the extreme of it. A lot of our domestic violence, which we don't pay enough attention to, is actually in the form of emotional abuse in terms of the way we interact so violently with each other in the home. The way we speak to each other, the way how parents speak to children, husband speaks to wife, mother speaks to father, siblings. We've had no instances where siblings have been party to domestic violence because the tension and the level of hostility is such that it's a violent and dysfunctional interaction in many homes.
There's a fresh call for Barbados to get a handle on its crippling food import bill. It's coming from Housing Minister Dennis Kelman as he fully endorsed an initiative which will see schools around the island growing food. The program is being spearheaded by the Regional Entrepreneurship and Agriculture Program and the Rural Development Commission. Kelman told reporters the program is a step in the right direction.
It is not only agriculture for the sake of agriculture and reducing the food bill and also the economic solutions, but we have to recognize that there are also health solutions.
A national coordinator of the Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program, David Bino, believes there are other big benefits from the program beyond the production of food.
The essence of this program, which really brings together three key elements. We have the economic perspective, whereby young people are going to be able to understand how to not only grow something, but market and sell it, so that you have that entrepreneurial component, which is very important. But you have the social component, whereby you have young people who are learning how to interact on a one-on-one basis and present and encourage and try to persuade someone to take their produce as opposed to spend their money someplace else.
To sporting action now, West Indies batsman Shea Hope believes the Caribbean side can defy the odds and win next year's ICC World Cup in England. The 24-year-old, a key member of the Test and One Day international sides, says while the team is a good one, they must be fully prepared to bring home the bacon. The West Indies will be regarded as underdogs at the May 30th to July 14th showpiece in England and Wales next year, after being forced to book their spot via the 10-team World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe last month.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
On the regional scene, less than 5 months into the new year, police officials in Jamaica are reporting a near 5% increase in crime between January 1st and April the 21st. The latest crime stats also show that other serious crimes such as rape and aggravated assault are down. More in this report from Television Jamaica.
A crime wave is sweeping the country, and the government has been ramping up efforts to tackle the issue, declaring 2 states of emergency since the start of the year. One in the parish of St. James, which recorded over 300 murders, and St. Catherine North with 134 last year. But despite the enhanced security measures, the bloodletting continues. From January 1 this year up to April 21, 442 persons were killed. That's an increase of 22 or 5.2% when compared to the same period last year. While that might be the case for murders, the police have been making strides in other areas. Serious crimes like rape and aggravated assault have declined by 18 and 35% respectively. The latest crime stats also show that the perpetrator's weapon of choice continues to be the gun. So far this year, the gun was used to commit 83% of murders, followed by knives and machetes. The police seized 239 illegal firearms. That's 31 less than the corresponding period last year.
And on the international front, as U.S. President Donald Trump has warned Iran of big problems if it resumes the nuclear program it agreed to curb in the 2015 International Accord. Speaking at the White House with French President Emmanuel Macron, Trump called the Iranian deal insane. However, Macron, who is lobbying Trump to preserve the deal, said it was possible to forge a new Iran accord.
The Iran deal is a terrible deal. We paid $150 billion. We gave $1.8 billion in cash. That's actual cash.
Iran deal is an important issue. We will discuss about that. But we have to take it as a part of a broader picture,
Sure.
which is security in the overall region.
It's insane. It's ridiculous. It should have never been made. But we will be talking about it.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.